it's so bleak, right? I
Yeah.
can't see a koala running out of a fucking forest. Otherwise, I like cry for an hour. And it's, yes, I am soft. And that is also like,
Uh-huh.
there, I am not that
Yeah.
koala. It's just very
Yeah.
painful to watch. But how do you overcome that, that cynicism, that despair?
Well, I can't speak for other other cultures and worldviews. We have so much diversity in ways that people absorb information and ways that people become advocated to fight for justice. But I know for me, I have these beautiful sons, Felix and Jackson. One's 12 and the other's 15, and everything I do is about trying to give them the same opportunities to connect with nature,
Mhm.
because that's the big sickness, at least in Western economies, is that there's this huge gap inside our chests, and the only way people have been filling it was with consumerism and and consumption, and just like it's like a sickness of greed. And the only cure to it that I've found is a connection with nature and
Mm.
reevaluating our relationship to nature. And then I think as a man, like a cis guy, like that's kind of like a you're reconnecting with that sacred feminine. I don't know what that is, but that birth, that recreation of like creation instead of like domination.
Mhm.
And so that's the thing I want to encourage people to do is like get off your devices and get out, go for a walk. That sounds stupid and cheesy, but it keeps me sane. I've been ending my work days and going to the park over here, taking my shoes off, and practicing mindfulness. And I'm doing that for other
Nice.
reasons too. To be a better dad and whatnot, and deal with stress better. But I will say that, like, this stuff is very daunting. And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like, I go back to the whole idea about like localizing power in the interest of globalizing justice. And the fact of the matter is that community self-determination is fundamentally like inextricably linked to economic self-sufficiency. How whatever that means, it needs to be designed in a way that is, like accurate to your biosphere, the place where creator puts you and your crew, your fam.
Yeah.
And you have to talk to the rest of your community about what you do. And while you change your life, don't be a like one of the people I might have met when I lived in San Francisco in Northern California, like all airy and like, oh yeah, whatever. I'm eating better, or I'm eating acha
Yeah.
berries and whatever, almond milk. Do that. Change those light bulbs, get that electric car, but dedicate 70% of your social movement, volunteerism, and activism to supporting frontline struggles, that are actually targeting systemic targets that are the big polluters, that are the actual ones that are changing the chemistry of the planet. And,
Yeah.
push these political leaders like Biden, like Justin Trudeau here in Canada, like leaders in the European Union, other big carbon polluting states like Australia, for example. And let's get together, organize, mobilize. We have to remember the past. And when I guess what I'll end in conclusion on that question is, like, Greta Thunberg, you brought up September 27th last year. She came to Canada on a sailboat, and on September 27th, 7 million kids marched across the planet, against climate change, and these profiteers off climate change. And here in Canada, it was over a million. And in my home
Damn.
here in Winnipeg, it was over 20,000. And I was up there on the steps, with my two sons, and watching these kids come off of buses, and these are like grade 3 and shit. Like, some of them were so small they had to climb down like with like their tummy, like, to get off the bus. And they had these, like, Justin Trudeau shut down the pipelines.
Damn. I
And
love
like,
it.
and you got to think back to the social movement history of the civil rights movement. Selma, Alabama. It wasn't until the kids came out that the cops stopped busting heads, and that
Yeah.
all those liberal, white, guilt, rich people in northeastern U.S. started funneling money to Dr. King and everybody else during that time. Lunch counter sit-ins, Rosa Parks, and all the other bus sitters. And it was a big moment, and I feel that moment coming right now in this intersectionality between Black Lives Matter, Standing Rock, I Don't Know More, all these
Yes.
different movements. And
Yeah.
especially, and now the children have joined in, and we're going to start seeing record leaps and jumps in terms of what's possible and shifting the Overton window.
Yeah. Babs, do you have any nieces or nephews we can strap signs to and make look real cute out there in the front lines?
Oh yeah, I'm working on it.
There's nothing like that's what NATO says. When he had like twin girl, he has twins, and he would like whenever they would go out with their signs, he's like, "There's nothing more powerful than two little white girls being like advocating for something."
Write the clever signs, and then they go viral. So it's like they get something out of it. The world gets something out of it. You know?
They'll get some followers. But yeah, Babs, any thoughts on all this? Are we? Yeah, I don't know. Like, how do you take this challenge of our moment and apply it? I started composting. No. But I also really, I do think that there's something deeply fulfilling about organizing. It feels like it's going to be hard, and it is, and there's a lot of weirdos out there. But then there's a lot of Clayton Thomas Muellers and wonderful leaders, and it is incredibly empowering and satisfying. Yeah, more people should try it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's easy. Like you said, it's easy to get cynical and all that stuff, like you said. So, just hearing this discussion and hearing Clayton talk about it is inspiring to me, and makes me want to like reinvigorate myself as far as that fight goes. So I think just making sure that, like you said, you go outside and appreciate what's out there and think how we can save that, and also just to keep yourself motivated by just tuning into things like this and remembering that we are all in this together.
No, 100%. I know you are very busy freeing Brittany, but yes, this is step one, Brittany freed. Step two, change the world. It's all coming together. It's
all part of the same thing.
It's all part of the ecosystem. Before we have a last segment, I know we're going long, and so just thank you so much, Babs and Clayton, for sticking with me. But we've got some lovely commenters, people watching, people tuning in. Thank you so much for the super chats, all of you wonderful, wonderful folks. Malik Walker writes in on YouTube about vaccines. Immunocompromised person here, and yeah, I was on my back for 2 weeks after my second shot, but I got up. Death is permanent. Take the shot, people.
Right on.
Thank you, Malik. Appreciate you sharing that, and also for getting vaccinated. On Texas, Greg Elise Mitchell, Texas government desperately clinging to white minority rule. 100%. On Brittany, Regal Chief on Twitch, a privileged white man complaining about an American justice system. Nice. Yeah. He's like, it's so unfair. Indigenous residential schools, Clark Griswood on YouTube. My Manitoba Cree grandmother was forbidden to tell anybody of her Indigenous heritage from fear that she and her brothers and sisters would all end up in residential schools, and by now in mass graves. Wow. Wow. Thanks so much for sharing that, Clark.
Thank you.
And Trevor Pinocchi on Twitch. Many of these schools were run by the Catholic Church. Yes, the Catholic Church has yet to apologize. Not that means that much, but they write, I'm pretty amazed how little backlash they seem to be getting for once again being involved in the mass abuse of children. Absolutely. On climate change, Marcus George Lamprey on YouTube. Humans have the capacity to solve the problem. They do not have the political will. It's far more important than Bezos has a second house on Mars, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, let's get that guy.
Fucking just dissolve Bezos. Just expropriate Bezos. Melanie D44, it reached 118 degrees on ground level in the Arctic Circle last week or sometime the week before that. No, I just like, why? Why are we every week? It's like, oh, this ice shelf is
confetti.
It's goodbye. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Marcus George again, you won't get any justice without social justice. We have to entirely restructure world society. That's the scale. 100%. And look, this is why, we should, if you are a socialist or if you have those inklings, be proud about it. Be proud, because look at what capitalism has done. There's nice sneakers. You might get a cute dress, but there's no dresses on a dead planet.
I mean,
there's no jobs.
Really cute. This is cute, but I would give it up if we could like breathe air.
Yeah, I mean, that is a plant that's living. So there you go.
This is a fake.
Okay. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.